Welcome to another class. Today we're going to talk about the simple past tense. And we are going to talk about the use of the simple past tense. Why is it important and how can we apply it to our daily lives? Form and rules, because of course we need to talk about grammar so you can recognize it and use it correctly. And finally, we are going to do some exercises. Practice together with questions and answers. So let's start with use. In which situations do we use the simple past tense? So it is used to describe actions or events that were completed at a specific time in the past. The action could be short or long, and the exact time of the action may or may not be mentioned, but it is understood that the action is finished. This tense is essential for narrating past events, telling stories, or reporting facts that are no longer current. So let's see the timeline of the simple past tense. This is about an action that is finished, no longer current, no longer happening in the present. So, and as an example, and I studied yesterday. This is finished. This is done. Let's see more examples. So we can use it to talk about completed actions in the past. We attended a conference last week. Or to talk about a series of completed actions. She entered the meeting, greeted the team, and started her presentation. Or we can talk about past habits or regular actions. I worked in marketing for 5 years. I do not work in marketing right now. Specific time in the past. They launched the product 2 months ago. Or facts or generalizations about the past. He worked as a developer before switching to project management. And you will see that with this time we have some key time expressions such as yesterday, last week, last month, last year, 2 days ago, in 2019, when I was young. So specific times in the past. Now, let's see form and rules, starting with affirmative sentences. Now, it is important to note that in this situation, we have two kinds of verb. They can be regular or they will be irregular. So, regular verbs, they form the past tense by adding ed to the base form of the verb. And this is true for most verbs. Okay. So examples: to work, worked; to call, called; to organize, organized. And this form is valid for everyone since there is only one form in the simple past in the affirmative sentences. So, I worked a lot yesterday. You worked a lot yesterday. He, she, it, we, you, they worked. It is the same for everyone. Now, the base rule is adding the ed, but depending on the ending of the verb, we may need to pay some attention. Okay, so as I mentioned, the base form had ed. As an example, to work, worked. Now, if the verb already ends in e, we don't need to add another e. We just add d. So, hope, hoped. If the verb ends in consonant plus y, we need to change y to I and then add ed. So as an example, to study, studied. Now, if it ends in vowel plus y, we need to just add ed. There is no change. To play, played. Now, if it ends in single vowel plus consonant and there is only one syllable, we need to double the consonant and then add ed. So, to plan, planned, double n. Now, if the verb ends in a single vowel plus consonant and there are two syllables and the last one is stressed, we need to double the consonant and then add ed. So to admit, admitted, double T. If the verb ends in W, X, or Y, we do not double the consonant, we just add ed. So to fix, fixed. And finally, if the verb ends in C, we need to add K before ed. So to panic, panicked. And for irregular verbs, well, I have some bad news because irregular verbs, they are irregular because they do not follow a consistent pattern. And you will need to memorize their past forms. I will make another video about the most common verbs, so you can watch it later. As an example, to go, went, to meet, met, to take, took. And this is also valid for everyone because in the past we only have one form of the verb. So as an example, I went to the meeting last week. You went, he, she, it, we, you, they went to the meeting last week. Now, let's see the rule for negative sentences. We use the auxiliary verb did plus not in between the subject and the main verb, which is in the base form. It doesn't matter if it's regular or irregular verb because we will use the base form of the verb. The simple past tense is already indicated by the auxiliary verb did. And again, it is the same for everyone. So I didn't work, you didn't work, he, she, it, we, you, they didn't work. It's the same. But we have a note here. So the contraction didn't is more informal and is really common in speaking. So if you were looking for more formality, you need to avoid the contraction and use did not instead, especially when writing. Okay? So finally, the questions, the interrogative sentences. Now for this, we need to use the auxiliary verb did before the subject. And again, it doesn't matter if it's regular or irregular verb because we will use the base form of the verb. And the simple past is already indicated by the auxiliary verb did. And again, it is the same for everyone. So, did I work? Did you work? Did he work? Did she? Did it? Did we? Did you? Did they work? It's the same. Now, the first note. It doesn't mean that it will be in the beginning of the sentence each time because we can have other expressions such as when, where, how often, what, how. Okay? So, as an example, when did you study? Where did Peter work last year? How often did you travel with your parents when you were a kid? Now, note number 2. We can give short and polite answers using the auxiliary verb. Did you finish the report? Yes, I did. No, I didn't. We do not say, yes, I finished. We only use the auxiliary verb for this kind of short answers. Yes, I did. No, I didn't. Did she call the client? Yes, she did. No, she didn't. And finally, the third note. It is possible to ask negative questions. Didn't you finish the report? Didn't you call the client? So we already have a video about negative questions. You can watch it later to understand what is the difference of positive questions and negative questions. Now let's practice, shall we? Pause the video now if you want to try it first. Exercise number 1. Identify whether the verbs in the following sentences are regular, are, or irregular, I. So, the simplest idea is if the verb ends in ed, it is regular. If it It is in a different form. It is irregular. So she gave a presentation. She gave a presentation at a meeting. This is irregular. They played football after work. Regular. He went to the conference last week. Irregular. We finished the project early. Regular. I took notes during the seminar. Irregular. She called the client after the meeting. Regular. We met with the new manager yesterday. Irregular. The company hired 2 new employees last month. Regular. He ran to the office because he was late. Irregular. They created a new marketing strategy for the product launch. This is regular. Now, exercise number 2. Pause the video now if you want to try it first. Each sentence contains an error in the simple past tense. You need to correct the mistake. So, she rated the report before lunch. Write is irregular and the correct form is wrote. She wrote the report before lunch. I didn't went to the meeting yesterday. I didn't go to the meeting yesterday because we used the base form of the verb. They doesn't finished the project on time. Now this is completely incorrect because doesn't is in the simple present tense and finished is in the past. So they didn't finish the project on time. He takes the client out for lunch last Monday. So last Monday is in the past and the verb here is in the present. So we need to change this. He took the client out for lunch. Left the office at 6 p.m. Leave is irregular. The correct form is left. We left the office at 6 p.m. Now exercise number 3. Pause the video now if you want to try it first. Write a yes/no question in the simple past tense for each statement. The team submitted the proposal on Friday. Did the team submit the proposal on Friday? She sent the email yesterday. Did she send the email yesterday? They attended the seminar last week. Did they attend the seminar last week? The company launched a new product in July. Did the company launch a new project in July? He gave a presentation during the meeting. Did he give a presentation during the meeting? Now, exercise number 4. Pause the video now if you want to try it first. Rewrite the sentences below in the negative form. I finished the task on time. I didn't finish the task on time. They called the customer last week. They didn't call the customer last week. She worked from home yesterday. She didn't work from home yesterday. We met the new manager yesterday. We didn't meet the new manager yesterday. He took the training course last month. He didn't take the training course last month. Exercise number 4. Sorry, 5. Pause the video now if you want to try it first. This is complete the short story by filling in the blanks with the correct simple past form of the verbs provided. So last Monday, our team had a very productive day. We started the day with a meeting where everyone shared their updates. After that, we met with a potential client who showed interest in our services. In the afternoon, we worked on finishing the proposal. Unfortunately, we didn't manage to complete it by the end of the day. So, what did we decide to do? This is the end of our video today. Remember to subscribe to the channel and like this video, and see you again in the next one. Bye bye.